If you've ever placed a bid into the DIBBS system for a DLA contract, you know that there are many areas that just don't make any sense. You kind of know what you're doing, but there's a piece of you that is uncertain. Well, in today's video, we're going to fix just that. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to place a bid in for a DLA contract, but also what many of those sections mean and why they're there. And with that, let's dive into the 2025 version of bidding on a DLA contract. Hello everyone, my name is Tristan Thomas with Mend Sourcing, and in today's video, we're going to go over how to bid on a DLA contract through the DIBBS system. We did a previous video back in 2024 to give you a little bit of understanding of how to place a bid in properly, but there has been a few changes that we do want to provide to you and update this video. So this is 2025's version of bidding on a DLA contract. And for those of you that are just visiting our channel for the first time, please do hit that subscribe button below as we put out these long form videos at least once a month. But those YouTube shorts, we put out at least twice per week. So please do, again, hit that subscribe button below as we put out more content. Our goal really is to help you win government contracts. So whether it's your first one or maybe become a little bit more efficient and better to win many more, we're here to help. And with that, let's bid on a DLA contract. So what I'm doing here is I'm on the DLA website. I just went to dibbs.bsm.dla.mil. Probably you already have this bookmarked, but you would go to this page and this is the home page. It hasn't changed in over 20 years. If you've seen the movie War Dogs, I think there's a scene where Jonah Hill is actually showing this screen to some of his employees. Much of this has not changed whatsoever. So first thing that we want to do is we want to log into the system, but I've already done that. And when we're here and we're inside of here, we're going to go to, there's several different places that we can go to, but I typically go to where it says RFQs. So go to the RFQs here. And I'm going to change the search category to solicitation number and paste in my solicitation number and press search. What it's going to do is it's going to bring up that solicitation right there. So here it is. And I want to click on right here where it says request for quote. Click on that quote button. And it brings me to my bid screen. Now this bid screen, you're going to go through this whole page, fill out your bid. It's much more simplified than that of trying to do a proposal through sam.gov where you have to manually fill out 65 pages. This is just a one pager that you need to fill out as long as you have your pricing that you want to offer to the government and their delivery days. So when you go in and you want to place a bid into the system, the main thing that you have to remember is that all of the yellow sections must be eliminated. So your goal is to fill out this, making sure that there's no more sections that are yellow. So let's do just that as we go through here. You see there's many. Now we're going to start up at the top and work our way down. So looking up at the top, it's going to ask you first the bid type. Most of you are going to choose bid without exception, but maybe you want to put in an alternate bid. Maybe it's the part or it's an alternate part. You want to put it there. Or maybe it's a bid with exception, meaning maybe you have a remanufactured part that you want to offer to the government. So you're wanting to bid on this, but there's a bit of an exception that needs to be done. So you want to choose one of these three. Now, this one's a pretty interesting section, which is the no bid. The no bid is a pretty interesting piece because if you have a RFQ that has a due date, let's just say tomorrow, and you know you're not going to be able to place a bid in by tomorrow, what you could do is come into the system, click on no bid for this item, and then press submit. What you're doing is you're locking in that you are going to be bidding on this item and you want to get it in before the due date. If that is the case, you would just say, we don't have pricing yet, should have that by tomorrow or whatever it is, and then click next, submit, and go forward. What that's doing is it's getting you in before that expiration date, whatever that might be. So when you do have a price and ready to go back in, you can put in the solicitation number, revise your quote, and then change it from no bid to bid without exception. Now, that's one way to do it, and I do know a few people that do it that way. I think it's pretty interesting, but usually I just let it expire and I will put in my bid after the expiration date. sam.gov is a lot different than when it comes to the DLA. In sam.gov, they have a hard cutoff on a specific time, like not even just to the day, but to the time within the day that they have an expiration. There's a little bit more leniency when it comes to placing your bids through DIBBS. So usually what I do is even if it's expired, I will still put my bid in. And also this actually brings me to something that I hear a lot from other people that are putting out YouTube videos about bidding on DLA contracts. I've heard a lot of times that, look, it's good to go back and look at RFQs that are from 2024. I was actually watching one video where someone was saying that this is back in March of 2024 and we're in July of 2025. That person was saying that, look, this is still just sitting there. It's still just sitting there, not because no one has bid on the item, but because more than likely it has slipped through the cracks. Maybe the contracting officer has left. Maybe they put out another one and just forgot to cancel this one out. But most of the time, what this means is not that someone hasn't bid on it. It's just slipped through the cracks. So why would we spend time on the old ones when they continuously put out new ones? So for our company, what we do is we never look back more than 60 days when we put in any bid into the DLA system. If it's more than 60 days old, we will not touch it. And also, what we want to do is look at the ones that are the newest, because we know that a contracting officer has put that into the system, therefore they're more likely to look at it. So please do be aware that you may be spending a lot of your time on old solicitations because other people are telling you to do so, and it's not really getting you closer to that award. Now, that was a side note, so jumping back into here. Now, going back into the bid, just remember that we want to eliminate all of the yellow boxes. So first question here is meets packaging requirements. You want to choose yes. If you are looking for a packaging house, you can always reach out to us. I'm looking at my window right here. There's 31 orders of clients that we have that have asked us to do their packaging for them. So if you're not sure of how to do ASTM or Mail Standard 2073, please reach out, leave a comment below, and we can discuss a little bit further. But all of your bids should meet their packaging requirements. Further down, we have discount terms. We never choose anything other than net 30, but if you're wanting to get paid sooner, maybe in 10 days or 20 days, you could take a haircut on the total award amount. So if you want to get paid in 10 days, and let's just say that the award amount is for 100,000, you're going to now get an award amount of 98,000. So they'll reduce it by 2% to make sure that they pay you in time. But on average, the government pays within 23 to 25 days. So I see no reason to change anything outside of net 30. Next section here is how long is the quote valid for? You could put 30 days, 60 days. For us, we put 30 or 45 days, depending upon exactly what the manufacturer is giving us a valid quote for. Just know that even though you might put this valid for 30 days, the contracting officer might look at this 60 days later. Like even today, I got a request for an extension on a solicitation I put back in October. So we're in July, that's October. Obviously that quote has expired and also the price has changed. So even though you might put 30, 60 days, you're just CYA, you're covering yourself in that case. So typically we either put 30 or 45 days. So for this case, I'd put 30 days. And then if they come back to me for an extension, I would check with the manufacturer first and then add an additional 30 days, 15, whatever it might be. So put in the quote valid days. Federal supply schedule, have never touched this. So we always keep it at N/A. I would advise the same thing. Now, when it comes to the FOB point, this is a very interesting section because this radio button will be defaulted to what is on the RFQ. So it'll either be FOB destination or FOB origin. So since this is defaulting to FOB origin, what that means is that the government is going to pay for the shipment of this item. So wherever the packaging house is going to ship the item, they're going to take ownership from that point, meaning they're going to pay for UPS, FedEx, whomever it might be. So the reason why when this is defaulted to origin, you have a origin response section is because they need to know where is this part coming from. So since we do the packaging ourselves, I'm going to put Los Angeles, California, put that information there because that's where we are. But if it was destination, I would put, or it would default to this and that information is gone. That because who is responsible for the shipment to its end destination if it's FOB destination? You are. So they don't care where you're shipping it from because you need to incorporate the cost associated with that to get it to its end destination. But this was an FOB origin RFQ. So we're going to put FOB origin and then put Los Angeles again. All right. So that's all taken care of. Now we move down to the next one. Now it's saying for the government inspection point. Again, there's two options here, destination or origin. Origin means that the government is going to come to that facility to inspect the parts before you ship them out. If it was government inspection point destination, what that would mean is that the government is going to inspect items at the end destination. So if it defaulted to destination, those are gone because they don't have to inspect it anywhere. But since it's inspection origin, I need to now let the government know where is the inspection going to take place. Where is the inspection going to take for the items or the supplies? And then where is the inspection going to happen for the packaging? This could be at the same place or it could be at two different places. You need to determine what the answer is to that. But for us, we do the inspection of supplies and the inspection of the packaging at our location. So I'm going to put my cage code here. And I move down to the next section and it's asking me what price do I want to give the government? So in this case, what I wanted to do is for 103 pieces, it was going to be $21.17 for the price. And then the delivery days. Now, when it comes to the delivery days, be aware that on the RFQ, they may have a desired date of needing the parts in 5 days or 45 days, and you can't give it to them in that time frame. Doesn't matter. Still bid on the item, but put the days that you know you can get them by. Government does not have delivery days as the number one priority. Price is always number one. So if you can't meet the expectation on the RFQ, still put what your promised delivery days are. So in our case for here, I'm putting 120 days. So what this 120 days means is when they issue the award, clock starts to tick, I have 120 days to provide the items. Moving to the next 3 sections, we have minimum order quantity variance and quantity available for immediate shipment. I'm never touching these. If you do want to add this, it's not going to impact the likelihood of you winning the item. You can let them know, hey, if you're not needing a whole 103 pieces, I can give you 25 pieces, right? But again, I'm just focusing on what they're asking me for. There is no variance here, and there is no quantity available for immediate shipment. Next section is for price breaks. So maybe I can give them a better price break at 150 pieces or 250 pieces. I'd put the information here, but we never touch that. And now we're going on to the next section, which is all about the item that I'm going to supply. Now this section right here, again, we want to eliminate all the yellow. It's asking, are the items that I'm going to provide, are they in accordance with the specs on the RFQ? So based upon working with my manufacturer, knowing exactly what they're going to be providing me, I know that these parts are as per that RFQ. So I would click the first one there. Sometimes you may have a vendor or manufacturer that could give you a different revision. If that's the case, you want to put it there and let the government know what revision that is. But in this case, I'm going to supply the exact part that the government needs. So the next section here is identify the higher level quality system that the manufacturer has, not your, if you're a distributor, not what your quality system is, but what theirs is. So you may have to ask your manufacturer, what is their quality system? Ours and most of our manufacturers are AS and ISO certified. So I'm going to choose ISO certified, but it's not asking you what your certification is. Ask the manufacturer. Next section is the manufacturer dealer section. It says, select the status of the quote for cage code. So it's going to give you different options. Dealer, manufacturer, qualified supplier list, dealer, qualified supplier list, manufacturer. But when I first started out, this question confused me. It made no sense. But in essence, really what they're asking us is, are you the dealer or are you the manufacturer of this item? If you are the manufacturer, then you're good to go. But if you're a distributor or a dealer, saying, okay, then who's the actual manufacturer of this item? So I would put down that cage code of who that manufacturer is going to be that I'm getting the parts from. So that's exactly what I would put there. Now, the next question is material requirements. Are these parts other than new, reconditioned, remanufactures, or unused? So if your parts are new, this is the better way to say it. If your parts are new, you want to choose no. If your parts are used or reconditioned, remanufactured, then choose yes, and then choose one of these. But in this case, my answer is going to be no. Moving down to the next one, hazardous material. Are these hazardous? Most of the time, I'm still looking to find my first one that does include hazardous material, but you're probably going to choose no. So we would click on no. Next question here is Buy American Act. So where are your products actually coming from? Are they a domestic end product? Are they coming from a qualifying country or a non-qualifying country? If they're coming from a non-qualifying country, this will automatically eliminate you from winning this contract because you cannot supply parts from Afghanistan. You cannot supply parts from China. It should be from one of these two. I do know some of my clients will get their parts from qualifying countries and they'll be from one of here. But in our case, we only buy American. So all of our manufacturers are based in the United States. So I will click domestic end product. Next question is duty-free entry requested. This goes along the lines of tariffs. So in this case, since we only buy American, this would be no, but you're asking, hey, government, can you pay for that? Because I'm getting the parts imported in. But in this case, if you are buying American, the answer is going to be no. Next question is the North American Industry Classification System, which are your NAICS codes. So all this is doing is saying, hey, based upon your SAM registration, the other questions below are going to, could they default to what the SAM.gov registration is, or are you wanting to select something different? It doesn't really matter what you choose here. So I usually choose no default. And then I just put my answers for all 3 of them. First question is, what is my business type? So you would choose your business type here. We are a small business. Then it's asking us, are you a disadvantaged small business? The answer is no, we are not a small disadvantaged business, so I don't choose that off. And it says offer elects to waive the evaluation performance preference for hub zone. So I would just say not applicable because this is not hub zone related, this question. We are a service disabled veteran-owned small business. This is a unilateral contract, has nothing to do with the hub zone. So not applicable. And I move down. Asking the question, do you have an affirmative action compliance developed and on file? For us, we're a small business. It's not applicable, so I choose not applicable. And the next question is previous contracts and compliance reports. So if you win enough awards, the government may ask you to fill out compliance reports. For us, we have participated in that and we have filed that. So I would choose participated and filed. If you have no idea what I'm talking about here, more than likely it is not participated. So in this case, we have participated and filed. I'll choose that. Next question, last 2 questions. it's asking for an alternate dispute resolution. So if you have a disagreement with the government and you keep going back and forth, you cannot just sue the government. You are going to agree to use an alternate way to handle that dispute. In accordance with DLA, and you can read the rest of it right there, you would always choose agree. And the last question, and your answer should always be no. But that question is asking, are you providing an end product that may have been mined, produced, or manufactured by forced or indentured child labor? I would pray that everyone watching this video answers that question as no. So as we go through this is the 2025 version of submitting a bid. A few things had changed on this, but as I continue to go down, I want to make sure that there are no yellow sections. As you see, there are no yellow sections. I click on next. And after I click on next, what I have is a review of my quote. So I can check to make sure everything is right, which we do. And then after everything is taken care of, I just press and hit that submit button and it's saved. And that's it. That is me successfully submitting my bid for this particular RFQ. Now, when it comes to the RFQs that you are bidding on, we should always keep track of the ones that we have bid on. There is a direct correlation between the amount of bids that you put into the system and the amount of awards that you win. So please do work your way to put in as many bids as you possibly can. Even if you think you're priced out or your delivery days are too long, still put in those bids. Like I say on a lot of my calls, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So please do still submit if you can't supply that item. We have different tools here at Men Sourcing that we use. One quick shout out to our own tool, which is Gov Scraper, which is a tool that actually downloads all of the RFQs, pulls all of the data from those RFQs and puts it on your dashboard. And with all of that, we can keep track of everything from the new opportunity all the way to submitting the bid, keeping track of how many bids we submit per week, per month, and so on. But also going a step further. When the government comes back to you, maybe they ask for a trace, you can tag it as a trace. Or when you do win that award, you can tag it as an award won. And then the system forces you to tell us, why did you win that award? Or if you lost that award, the system forces you to say, why did you lose that award? So it's helping you sharpen your skills as you continue to bid. Again, that's Gov Scraper that we have. And leave a comment below if you want to learn a little bit more about it, or just reach out to us. But this video was really all about helping you submit a bid successfully in the year 2025 for the DIBBS system. And with that, I just want to thank you. My name is Tristan Thomas with Men Sourcing. And again, we do put out these videos at least once a month and those shorts twice per week. So if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. And with that, have a wonderful rest of your day.